Hello, all you YouTubers out there. It's Scott Johnson again this week, and I've decided to talk a little bit about some other aspects of my life that make me me, aside from music. So I think in the last weeks I talked about stuff that I'm about, like food. I'm a really big fan of food, and I like to paint, and I like to do all these other things that make me me. So this week I'm just going to talk a little bit about painting. So I've been painting on and off since I was a young boy, and when I was younger, I'll be honest, I didn't think very highly of it. I was always kind of like, oh, not again. Oh, we have to paint. This is a big deal. And as I've gotten older and I've been involved with some other work that I've been around, I like to think that I've come to enjoy it quite a bit. It's something that I really like to do. And there's kind of a two-step version of what I paint, basically. So the industrial side of it, or the commercial side of it, is of course stuff I've worked on at parents' houses, or friends' houses, or my current apartment, and other aspects of that are that I just really enjoy doing that. It's not something that I've done for a real job, as a real job in life, but it's something I like to do. I'll just take the camera here and show you. I'll show you my apartment. So up here is all the wall that I've painted here. This back wall here has been painted. This back wall here has been painted. And then if you look at the window, there's the sides of the wall and the trim that have been painted. And then there's this wall here. So this is just one room of my apartment, and there's 4 rooms in here, and it all got painted a couple years back when I moved in. So I really enjoy doing that, and it's something that I know how to do. It's not something I make tons of money off of, but I really enjoy doing it. So if there's people out there watching this and they need a hand maybe sometime, or they need some cheap labor from somebody, don't hesitate to give me a call or get a hold of me online, because small jobs I'm okay at, just not big jobs I'm not accustomed to. So that's one thing I like to do too, is that, right? So there's the other step of that process is the side of the acrylics that I got into a number of years ago. I basically got into covering canvases just for fun. And I think I'm kind of creative by nature, but it's not something that I've fully explored in all my years of being a working man. I never had time for that. And over the last number of years, I've been able to delve into that a bit. So I told you guys about the vision board that I made in the last post, and that was something that is on the wall that is to the right of me. And some other stuff I've gotten into is canvases. So I'll just show you a few of them here. This one right here is a canvas that I did when I was taking some art classes. And it's just kind of conceptual. It's supposed to be a little bit more detailed than this, but I didn't actually finish it. It's just kind of loosely set up, right? So this was something I did at art school in the Calabogie area, or Springtown area, and it was something just for fun. So that's probably my most recent one that I've done. There's other small stuff like this is one that I've done a while back, and it's just something small of a rooster. I don't know. This was kind of a funny one to think of because we had an earthquake here in Ontario, or what was called a tremor or earthquake of sorts, about a year or so ago. And the day that happened, I was painting this actual painting whenever the house started shaking, and whenever people started calling around saying, what was that? And I was so busy painting, I just thought it was like a construction crew or something. But it's funny to think of. So that's just one that is kind of a farm animal. I grew up on a farm, and there was animals around when I was younger, and I guess I associate well with kind of the farm animals that are part of being part of a farm. So that was about a year or so ago. And then this one here is a one I did when I came back from the Caribbean. I basically was in the Caribbean visiting with family, and when I came back, this was something that was kind of on my mind. It's kind of a picture of Ocho Rios, where I was for a little bit of my stay, and it's kind of the picture out of the bus that we were leaving from Ocho Rios when we were there. It's pretty rough. It's not as upscale as some people paint, but it's kind of interesting to me because that kind of shows how the light is excuse me, the light is when you're in different parts of the world. It's totally different, right? It can look a number of different ways depending on what country you're in. So this one is another one I did too. It is one that kind of takes me back to my childhood. It has to do with cars and stuff. So when I was younger, my brother and I had toy cars, and we used to play with the toy cars. And he had a Ferrari, and I had like a Nissan NXS or something like that. And he always loved Ferraris too, and we always really bonded over the Ferrari car for some reason. So I thought I would do a portrait of the Ferrari emblem just for fun, because it has to do with cars, and it's a guy thing, right? Like, guys like cars, and guys like like cars like Ferraris, right? So this is my version of my Ferrari. I'll never own a Ferrari, but this is my version of my my Ferrari if I was to have one. So those are just some fun things that I've done. There's also a bunch of other canvases that I have at my relatives. So a couple years back, I started to give paintings as gifts just for fun around Christmas time, because I had quite a few of them at the time, and I wanted to just get rid of them because they were kicking around my place, and some of the family liked them, and some of the kids didn't know what to think of them, my nieces and nephews. But I have about, I don't know, 10 or 12 other canvases that are just floating around at families' places, basically, that family has. So some of those other concepts are kind of surrounding cars, and some of them deal with race, some of them deal with I guess more to do with the Jamaica theme when I was in the Caribbean, and some of them have to do with kind of politics too. So they're just for fun, and they're not Like, I would never be able to sell them for money. But aside from my industrial or commercial side of painting, I know how to do all this hobbyist stuff too, so it's fun for me. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of my creative side that I don't share with many people, and I haven't shared with many people I've been involved with regarding this, but I figured, hey, I need to shift gears from the music and start to talk a little bit more about who I am aside from music, because that's what YouTube is really about, I guess, is telling people about yourself and about what you're like and what you're not like and what you believe in and what you don't believe in. So creativity is a great expression for that. You can say a lot with creativity that you can't in just coming and going with people. I had a whole idea of doing these controversial canvases a while back, and they've just been kind of on the back burner. I have ones that I want to kind of delve into, but I guess I've been holding out because I know that they may not be exactly received as well as what they're intended to. So that's something in the future that I'll get into, but I'm hanging on to those ideas for now, and looking ahead, that's what I'd like to get into, is a little bit of the more controversial side to my creativity. So those are some of my my works, and they're not like even really work. They're just fun to me, right? So this is another one too. This one, I like the idea of I guess flying or something, right? You think about flying, you dream about flying when you're asleep. It's something that is passionate to me. The travel side of my life is something that is really a big part of who I am, because I do travel, aside from the music and aside from the paint and aside from my other work. I do like to travel, so this one kind of reminds me of traveling and seeing different places and stuff. It's very rough, once again. These are just more introductory into some of my beginning stuff. So as I get older, I'll spend a little bit more time refining all of these these ideas, or the ideas that I work on. Hopefully, anyways. I think a while back I tried to do some portraits, and they were they were kind of hard to do because I'm not really a portrait artist. I don't do portraits very well. It's not something I'm accustomed to. But I tried to do one of someone who my sister has, and I call her Mama Africa or something, is what I named her, because she's got the African country in the background, and then she has her face in the foreground. So that's one I tried to do a while ago, and my sister owns that print, or has it. It was given to her as a gift, and that one was another one I tried to do, and this one was a similar concept to it, except for this was kind of based loosely based around Spain, which I visited a long time ago in 2010. It kind of had to do with the folks that I met on the downtown kind of promenade, and the walkway down by the water. There was a whole group of individuals who made their lives kind of living around this area that I was in, and they were like buskers, and this kind of individual reminds me of the buskers of that era. and the background is kind of loosely the country of Spain in the background of it. So these are all just ideas, right? They're not stuff you would make money off of, and I'm okay with that because, creative arts are kind of like a dying field, and painting and even music to some extent. People don't make livings off of them anymore, right? So in any case, I like to just tell everybody that's part of who I am. I paint aside from this. I do industrial painting and household painting and commercial painting and hobbyist painting, and I just love it. So like, irregardless of what people think of it, or if people think I'm awkward or something because that's who I am, then so be it. I'm okay with the fact that I can do all that stuff, and I find it passionate. It's something else about who I am and what I can do to make me and different from other people. So thanks to all the YouTubers today, and I just thought I'd tell you more about myself, and in the coming weeks I guess I could maybe talk about my travel, or maybe more about more about the food aspect of my life, because food is another aspect that makes me me. So there's other things that are involved in my life, and food would be one of them. So in the coming weeks you'll maybe hear more about that, and I thank everybody for their time, and I look forward to talking to everybody again soon. Bye for now.